Next up for us, Tennessee Titans at Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is a spot where I have a lean that I wanted to talk out with you and the chat before I moved on it, and that is the under. These Titans unders paying my rent, and the Colts are perfect for unders. The Colts have lost both their home games thus far at Lucas Oil, and I still like their football team on the over 6.5 wins with confidence. I like Steichen. I like what I'm seeing from them. And the Titans last week were the perfect buy low spot. Perfect. And, I'm still pretty agitated that I wasn't on them. But it is what it is. Let's get into the line total here. It's sitting at 42.5. It opened up at 41.5, and it went to the over quickly. That's part of the reason why I haven't moved on it right away. Also, this over 42.5 is juiced, which is telling me, at least at this point, I don't need to bet this tonight. I mean, this could end up at 43 here. From a side perspective, we have it's sitting at a -1 right now, but I think it's a better look just to talk about the money line, give us a better understanding of what's happened here. The Colts are at -111. They opened up at -113. They got up to -126 yesterday. They're at -126 yesterday afternoon. And then there's been a lot of buyback down to -111. So that's the situation for the money line and the total. A shout out to Jim Jules. Thank you so much for being a member of We Be Pubbing. Respect. Great to have you as part of the squad. Let's talk about the cash flow then for this spot, Titans, Colts. We have 64% of the tickets on the over and just 50% of the cash. From a spread perspective here, 43% of the tickets and 67% of cash on the under. Titans coming off an impressive 27-3 home win over the Bengals. It's the best the offense has looked all year. 94 yards they had in losing in Cleveland. They bounced back, put up 400 yards of offense, 9 of 14 on third down. That's third down and fourth down combined. And they held on to the ball for 34 minutes and 45 seconds. Tannehill went 18 of 25 for 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He still fumbled twice. He didn't lose them. He was fortunate. Derrick Henry ran 22 times for 122 yards and a touchdown, caught a pass for 11 yards and threw a TD pass. And he was held to just 20 yards rushing last week. Of course, he was going to bounce back. Tyjae Spears, a lot of people believing in this young man. He ran 5 times for 40 yards, caught 3 passes for 18 yards. Hopkins caught 4 for 63. Nick Westbrook-Ikine caught 5 passes for 51 yards and a touchdown. The defense was excellent. Again, though, is the Bengals offense just the issue with us is just the vividness bias with them being so good. They held the Bengals to just 211 yards, held them to 2-9 on third down, 1 unsuccessful trip to the red zone. They bothered Joe Burrow, 3 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. So Tennessee is playing without left guard Peter Skoronski. He's missed his 3rd game recovering from an appendectomy. And they have Treylon Burks out with an injured left knee. So Skoronski was back all week practicing. I guess he was in all the meetings. And he wanted to get on the field, and they were like, can you hold out for it? So he's going to practice this week. But he was in all the meetings. So, he is arguably their best and most consistent offensive lineman. And then Treylon Burks is expected to practice this week. Then Kyle Phillips was moved from the IR to the designated to return list. So that gives 21 days, of course, to put him in. He is expected to play this week. Then you have Nicholas Petit-Frere. He's eligible to return to the lineup this week as well. There's been a change in that suspension. That's a big deal for the Titans. They were down to backups at both left guard and right tackle. So you get Petit-Frere back. You get Skoronski back. Now, this is information that we're going to need over the next couple of days. Obviously, it's Tuesday night right now. The Colts come in off a tough 29-23 overtime loss at home versus the Rams. Anthony Richardson returned from his concussion, 11 of 25 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran 10 times for 56 yards, did fumble twice, losing one of them. The first quarterback in the Super Bowl era and the first in franchise history to have a TD run in this first 3 games of his career. Drew Ogletree led receivers with 3 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Zach Moss ran 18 times for 70 yards. They got some pressure on Stafford. They sacked him twice. They hit him 9 times, but they were gashed all over the field. Rams put up 467 total yards, 8 more first downs from him. Zaire Franklin, the man is doing everything he possibly can all over the field. Kenny Moore had an interception. And the problem here with this squad is that I thought Ryan Kelly, I was hoping Ryan Kelly would clear concussion protocol. Left tackle Bernard Raymond didn't clear concussion protocol, but the 3-time Pro Bowl centers who we need badly, Alec Pierce, wide receiver, is now in concussion protocol. And then they lose their starting quarterback, Dallas Flowers, torn Achilles, and he's done for the season. So Isaiah McKenzie is going to be the candidate to take over the return duties, and Jalen Jones and Kenny Moore will see extra opportunities in the secondary. But then this came out last night. Kwity Paye is in concussion protocol, developed symptoms on Monday morning. Jelani Woods is still on the IR. And Jonathan Taylor, who's been on the PUP list, is practicing tomorrow. So there's so much information that we need that we don't have yet. Take it away here for us, Troy. Titans, Colts, Lucas Oil.
I'm glad we share the same sentiment on this one, and I should have expected it based on the results of last week. And I was pulling for you, man. I was pulling for that comeback. I wanted it to freaking happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. But hey, this might be the spot to get back on it. My initial thought is obviously to back the Colts. Solid defensive front to stop the run. Titans clearly have been better and more effective at home. Way more comfortable at home, to say the least. Tannehill. And Colts off a loss and the Titans off a blowout win. It's kind of shaping up right away to look like a Colts spot. Tannehill has another week on the top of the chart as it relates to air yards per attempt, which surprises me. The 2 wins for the Titans, Tannehill led the week in air yards per attempt. Actually, I think he was 3rd in week 2. But their 2 wins, he was stretching the field vertically. But those were both home games. This is not a home game. I'm not sure what to make of that yet. I have to do a little bit more digging. And I have to rewatch this. I have to rewatch the Colts game because I didn't turn it on until I realized the Colts are coming back. I was so caught up in my action. So I definitely want to rewatch that game and check out some film. But, the importance of stretching the defense for the Titans, it's evident. That's why you fade QBs. I'm going to name off some QBs who don't stretch the field vertically, or teams that don't. Ritter, Burrow, Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett, all are the bottom of the league. They all fit in that same category. They don't stretch the field vertically. Those are the worst offenses in the NFL and the worst quarterback ratings in the NFL at this point. Derrick Henry rushed for 122 yards. He looked like he was a lot better after getting fucked up for a couple of weeks. 5.5 yards per carry. And what that does when you can run the ball effectively, stretch the field vertically, it opens up play action, man. And I'm very heavy. There's a lot of correlation between play action and offensive success. And it's like a 1.0 correlation. Like it's that high. It's so strong of a correlation at this point in the season. I should do some digging on prior seasons to see if that rings true. This game, I think, should be tightly contested. I have a note here that you could probably live bet both sides on the money line at plus money at some point throughout this game. But the Titans, Sammy Coleman brought this up in the chat, and I thought it was fascinating. So I went back and just quick checked. Titans versus mobile quarterbacks. They played, here's 5 that I have listed as certain mobile quarterbacks. The Browns, the Jags, the Eagles, the Bills, the Giants. 0-5 straight up, 1-4 ATS. I'm leaning towards the Colts. Let's check out the injury report when it gets dropped tomorrow, and I'm going to rewatch this game. I'll likely end up with Colts in my pocket.
I expect to be on the under. I agree with DG that it's bettable now, but why move on it if it's just moving towards the over? Usually I would be so concerned that it's moving to the over that I would stay off of it. But my ROI on unders this year is strong. And if you take out week 2, it's incredible. But week 2 happened. The under, and I like your idea with the Colts. I agree with Coyne saying this is a sell high spot on the Tennessee Titans. I agree with your thought process around whether or not Tannehill can air it out on the road like he does at home. Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. And the Colts' inability to win these first 2 games at home does concern me very much. I can't get around it. It really concerns me. So at this point, I know that the Titans are going to get healthier, and I need to know that the Colts are going to be okay. I need to know that Kwity Paye is okay, and he's probably not going to be because these guys are not getting out of concussion protocol quickly. So I'm very concerned. But I do want to move on both the Colts and the under, and I will not be doing that this evening. I want more time to sit with this game. Is there anything you want written down here for leans or action?
Well, yeah, I'm leaning towards the Colts and the under, just like you. I have to do some more work and need to see some injury reports. But look what happened to me last week when I looked for some injury reports on Wednesday. Browns report comes out. Watson practices 3 days in a row and sits on Sunday. So what the hell is that going to do me?
And the unders that we have been on together have hit at a very, very high rate as well.
Only
And
one loss.
I'm just waiting for the sample size to be a little bigger, and I'll start talking about it on the show. I feel like it's just 4 weeks in, I don't want to start really telling everybody if we're on the same total, then join us, until we have a little bit more of a sample size. Let's move on.